Well, it's been a frightening day as far as civil aviation in this country is concerned. The first incident was a very close call. It took place at Dabolim Airport in Goa when this Jet Airways aircraft early in the morning, about a 5 a.m. departure on a flight between Goa and Mumbai, actually veered off the runway just as it was starting its takeoff run and then finally came to a screeching halt in the mud over here, losing its undercarriage. People were evacuated from the aircraft through these slides. There were injuries as well. Fortunately, no one has lost their life. And I think the really good news in this, a small silver lining, is that this was a fully loaded aircraft with fuel. At that particular stage, there was no explosion. And this is an image of the second incident that we are talking about. This took place in Delhi when a SpiceJet aircraft and a Jet Airways aircraft came nose to nose on the tarmac. Again, this was not an emergency. It needs to be clarified, but why should two aircraft on a runway come nose to nose or almost nose to nose? Possibly because of miscommunication with the air traffic control. Both the pilots spotted each other well in time. They stopped their aircraft. Nothing further as far as that is concerned. But let's go back to the Goa incident and bring you a map of just what exactly happened. Now, this is the Dabolim airfield. This is INS Hansa as far as the Indian Navy is concerned. It's a major naval base. This part of this very large the aerodrome, as it were, is the civilian area. The Navy areas are over here and then further away. To the end of this particular runway is the Arabian Sea. And by and large, aircraft tend to taxi down the runway because there is no alternative taxi track. In this enlarged area over here, they are able to turn the aircraft around and then they take off in this direction. In this particular case, this seemed to be going exactly according to plans. I should mention that this image comes from Flight Radar 24. This is an application and a site that tracks real-time the movement of aircraft based on their radio signals and other signals. So on this particular case, this aircraft came down the runway as expected. Just look at the lines over here. It went over here. It turned around. And just as it was starting out its takeoff run, perhaps even before it actually commenced the takeoff run, it veered off the runway. Why did this actually take place? Veered off the runway, and the location of the aircraft after the runway excursion was just over here. The nose gear of the aircraft has collapsed. And there were injuries as well. Let's bring you some pictures of the injuries. People were pulled out. Fortunately, as I mentioned, a large naval presence over there. So they were able to actually get a lot of these injured people out of the aircraft very, very soon. Those people who were injured were taken to hospital. And again, let's just quickly move on to the Delhi incident, which I was talking about. Again, just a reminder, this was not a very bad situation. It could have been bad because of fog and things like that. Fortunately, no one hurt in Delhi.